Hi, welcome to the Eternal Spirit Show. I'm Paul Salmon, I'm a psychic medium, and my guest today is Jo Barnard, holistic practitioner, writer and teacher.
Yes.
Hello, Jo.
Hello, Paul.
That's a
Lovely
mouthful,
to meet
isn't
you.
it?
It was, yeah.
Oh, to get it all in there. See? Lovely to meet you from Essex.
Yes.
My old stomping ground.
Yeah.
But we won't go into that now.
Okay.
I believe you had a life change, one of those moments when you discovered Reiki. How did that come about?
Yes. My career was very much in marketing, and although I've always been very interested in holistic living and practices, it was never anything that I'd ever considered really doing or getting heavily involved in. And I went along to, it was a pamper evening locally, and at the time I had a dreadful migraine coming on. Funnily enough, I'd just taken a book out of the library on Reiki because I knew nothing about it. I thought, I'll read this. Hadn't got round to reading it. Went for this Reiki treatment. There was just one slot left, Reiki. I'll give that a go. And I could literally feel, it felt like steam was releasing from my head. It was something really incredible. And this lovely lady, Nina, wasn't even touching me. And I thought, I've got to know about this. I've got to learn about it.
Once you get hooked into something, that's it, isn't it?
It was a real kind of awakening. So I got in touch with Nina the following day and said, how do I learn about this? And she said, well, come along. We'll book in for a course. So I did the first course, the first level, and found that amazing. Sent a text around to friends and family, does anyone want to be a guinea pig? And lo and behold, by the time I'd done my second course, I went for my second course, I'd done about 50 treatments, which was, that's unheard of. It seemed to be coming to me, and it seemed to be meant to be. So that set me on a totally different path.
Yeah. So where did you go from there?
I was practising really as a hobby. So maybe 1 or 2 evenings a week I had people coming, and really enjoyed it. And we went on holiday one year, and I just thought, what I'm doing no longer fulfills me in the way that this does, and took a leap of faith really. And we're very fortunate that we have it was a detached double garage separate from the house, and we converted that into a lovely clinic.
That's your clinic.
That's my clinic. And it just
took off from
there.
Took
off, not on a big scale, it's not a big operation, but it's lovely. It ticks along, and it's lovely.
But from there, you've got a list as long as your arm. Tell us what you're qualified in.
Indian head massage, which works very well with Reiki, aromatherapy, Swedish massage, meditation, crystals.
I've not had anyone on here yet who can tell me about crystals.
I love involving crystals into the treatments.
I was going to ask you, so can you combine a bit of each element for whatever the patient needs or client? That's
exactly the way that I like to work, rather than people coming along and saying, I want Reiki or I want a massage. When they actually come along, we have a good old chit chat about their life, their health, their well-being, and I like to tailor make it to what they're looking for and what they need. I
imagine you must have an understanding family then, with all these qualifications, all these activities you're into.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I've got a very supportive husband, John, who very much lets me do my own thing, which is lovely. So there's no pressure from him. But it's difficult juggling. I'm a wife, I'm a mum, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, and a businesswoman, and juggling those.
So the marketing has gone out. It's gone now. That's in the past.
Well, it's not so much in the past, because my last job was with a company. I did their newsletter for them. I was the editor of the newsletter, and so I have taken all of those skills and really use them within my own business. But talking about something that I really love.
Now you can market your own business. Excellent. Now you have I must say, it's a wonderful website.
Thank you.
I do admire that. And what's it?
It's you time. My company's you time, but it's you-time.
Yeah. And it's how would you say who's it dedicated to? The people who don't have enough time for themselves?
That's really, I've kind of put out an intention that I want people to come along who are prepared to take responsibility for their well-being. They don't want to just be fixed, but they maybe need a helping hand, perhaps stress, depression, illness, cancer, various different things, various different people I work with. But it's really nice working together rather than I'm going to fix you or anything unhealthy. It's very much working as a team, and it's lovely when people will invest time in themselves because it's so important.
I don't think people do much, do they? I've learned over the years that people give time to others, but the last person they give time to is themselves.
Yes, and I think it's very common now for ladies to get their, obviously we all get our hair cut and things like that, but frequently hair, nails, the external, and really rarely invest time on that, just being and being in touch. You
mentioned ladies. Do you get any men clients?
I do.
You do?
Yes, I do have men clients as well. Less men than women, but I do have male clients. Yeah.
What I like about your website, it's so informative. It encompasses everything you're qualified in. But you list workshops as well. You have testimonials on your website, and little video clips as well. Yeah. So tell me about the video clips.
Well, I decided I like the idea of interacting. I like people coming to a site and actually seeing who you are and what you're about, what you can offer. It's something that I'd like to do more of. I'm quite new at doing that, really. I just bought myself a little flip camera and I've done a few videos for myself, and that's as far as it's gone. But it's something I'd like to do more of.
Excellent. Well, you could put a link to our show on your...
I will certainly do that. I'd love to. Yeah.
And you've written a book. Now, let's hold the book up to the camera. Where are we? This one there, if you can.
Yeah.
That's called Meditation Made Simple.
Yes.
Now, is meditation a big part of your life?
It is a very big part of my life. It's really... When I began teaching Reiki, so from practicing I then went on to teach, and a big part of the essence of Reiki is actually meditation.
Right.
And I decided that as well as teaching Reiki, I also wanted to teach meditation, beginners workshops, introductions to meditation, really for finding coping mechanisms, tools to de-stress. So yes, I ran loads of these meditation workshops. People that weren't necessarily spiritual or spiritually minded came along, and I could see the benefit was huge. Really the essence of meditation, the goal of meditation is to learn to train our minds to work in our best interest as an ally, rather than all of this negative stuff that you shouldn't do that, you mustn't do that, you better not do that in case that happens, and do you remember what happened last time? The mind's constantly working and it can really take over. It's so powerful.
So in your book, do you have exercises how to meditate?
Yes, the book it's an interactive book, so it's almost like a workshop whereby I talk about the benefits of meditation, expel the myths, what is meditation, what is it not. It doesn't have to be about religion, it doesn't have to be about sitting in the lotus position. It can be practiced by anyone. It's just a matter of finding a technique that works for the individual, because we're all so different. So yes, the book goes on to give 6 or 7 different exercises, and you can make notes as you go along.
And how long did it take to write?
My intention was never to sit down and write a book as such. It really evolved from the workshops and the content that came from the workshops.
So it kind of happened naturally?
It did, very naturally, yes.
Because you are a writer as well.
Yes.
And you have articles on your website as well.
Yeah.
Do you write for other magazines?
I write for Soul and Spirit magazine's website, so I submit articles to them quite frequently. On their blog. I write my own blog as well on my site, and also I've just written an article for Kindred Spirit magazine on Reiki as an intuitive path, how it enhances your intuition. So, and one day a week is dedicated to my writing.
Yeah. But your whole life is encompassed by all this, isn't it?
Yes. My whole life is very much about people, well-being, and sharing, communicating.
Yeah. As we are now.
And
who's the book published? Let's give it a plug. Who's it published by?
It's published by Balboa Press, who are a division of Hay House. They're in the States.
And it can be bought on Amazon, I believe.
It can be bought on Amazon, in any bookshop, any website, on my website or on the Balboa website.
I'm interested in your workshops. So do you do these at your clinic, or do you go out and about as well?
I tend to do them from my clinic, and I like to work at the moment with small groups, quite intimate groups, because I think then you provide quite a safe, sacred space for people to feel very comfortable. And I find it a real privilege to run these groups. And it's the interesting thing about group work is you never know what mix of energy you're going to get. You never know what different people are going to bring.
Yeah.
But the workshops are fun, and so I run workshops on meditation, using meditation on how to move forward positively with your life, aromatherapy workshops.
Yes. And is this all you, or do you employ others? It's just you.
All me. Yeah. I do lots of things, but I do a little bit of lots of things.
So, if someone came to you for they're not feeling too good, do they come specifically for one treatment, or like Reiki or crystal healing, or do you give them what you think is best for that person?
It really depends on the individual. Some people will phone up and say, "This is my problem, what do you suggest?" And I might say, "Well, this is my initial idea, why don't you come along, have a chat, and we'll see." And we can, for example, somebody might have back problems, neck problems, so the obvious one is massage for that area. But we can incorporate essential oils that are good for relaxing the muscles. We can incorporate actually massaging with crystal stones, which get really deep into the muscles.
That's a new one to me, Jo.
It's quite a new one to me as well.
Because I see you brought some crystals along.
Yeah, I love...
Can you tell me what you do with these?
Yeah, well, crystals, like we do, and like anything, carries a specific vibration. And they're wonderful at absorbing negative energies and also vibrating along with you, so working with you. So depending on the type of crystal, they can be grounding, they can be healing, they can encourage you to love yourself more. They're lovely tools to go alongside with other things. And when you talk about crystals vibrating, that sounds weird. But when you think about a quartz watch, it's powered by the vibration.
It's energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another word for energy, maybe.
Exactly, energy. And of course, everything has energy in it.
Yeah.
Everything living, everything natural, even things that aren't natural have energy.
Yeah, they do. So you've got Swedish massage, Indian head massage, you name it, you do it. But are there some things that you want to develop or go into which you haven't done yet, to explore?
An area that, excuse me, I mean, I do also do readings and work with cards for divination, and incorporate that if people are open to it. One thing that I would like to look into more is working with spirit guides. It's something that I feel that I'm being drawn towards now. So I think, again, it will be a natural progression, but really I'm happy with the way that the clinic's going. I don't want that to be my full-time job. I don't want writing to be my full-time job. I don't want workshops to be, I love the mix of elements.
And do you go out to see individuals as well, or must they all come to your clinic?
I tend not to, unless somebody was unwell and couldn't get to me, then I would certainly consider going to them.
So where do you see yourselves in a couple of years' time?
I think I'd like to work with a magazine, or on a magazine, or maybe something more to do with publishing. I see that as being a progression, I hope. I don't have a specific vision of where I'll be. I think I'm very open. I put my intentions out there, and I just let things evolve, see what opportunities come up. I don't know where the book's going to lead.
go with the flow type of thing.
Go with the flow, and I think I definitely want to share that message of meditation and how wonderful it is, how life-changing it can be. I want to really put that out there further afield.
Right. And I believe you work with a friend of mine called Sheila Kundi.
Yes. Sheena is a writing buddy. She's a lovely dear friend of mine. We get together every Wednesday, and that's our day to... We're doing our own thing. We're not working on projects together, but we, what are you doing today? This is what I'm doing. We'll get down and really do some serious writing. Then we'll have lunch and chat about it and review, and it's just lovely to share that, because it can be very lonely writing, obviously, and you need an element of that, but it's lovely to be able to share that with someone else.
Yeah, but it's funny how, like you mentioned her, and it's a small world in a way.
It is.
Because, I know people and you have to be careful what you say, don't you?
Exactly, we'll never say anything nasty.
So is your husband involved in all this, or does he just support you?
He supports me and lets me get on with it. It's not his thing at all, but he's a very loving, supportive person.
Let's give a plug to your website. We haven't mentioned it. It's www.u-time.com.
So it's you-time.com.
Right. Okay. And you like to get into the psychic awareness sort of... Do you go to Spiritualist church?
No, I don't. You don't? No. But again, I work, with Sheena. Sheena's very... sits in circle, and so we'll do stuff together, but it's just something that I feel I'd like to develop.
A bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you've got a message for anyone out there, what would it be?
Really, to take responsibility for your own life. How do you want your life to be?
Yeah.
If you don't feel you can do it on your own, reach out for some help, but ultimately the responsibility lies with you, because I think we can all blame the economy, we can blame the politicians, we can blame the weather, we can blame the health service, or put all of our faith in a doctor. The doctor makes me better. Let's take responsibility for ourselves ultimately, and I think that would be...
Before we leave, have you got like a little case study you could, without naming names or anything, like someone who's benefited by coming to see you?
Well, one lady springs to mind. She came to me yesterday, and obviously I won't mention her, but she's very poorly. She has renal failure, she has chronic diabetes, she's very poorly. She's on the transplant list or waiting for transplant. Excuse me. And she actually comes to me for Reiki before her before her blood tests are due. And actually she's found that a Reiki treatment will change her blood tests, which stops her then having to go into dialysis. So it prevents her from going on to dialysis. So although I have huge faith in the process, it's lovely to be able to share that kind of definite story with people that...
Excellent.
Yeah.
Jo, it's been wonderful having you as my guest. The time has just flown by.
It has flown. It feels like about 10 minutes.
Have we covered everything in what we can in such a short time?
I don't know. I'm sure we could go on for longer, but it's been a pleasure to meet you and chat with you.
Jo's website is www.u-time.com. Or if you want to know more about Jo, look at her website or contact me here at the Eternal Spirit Show on felixstowe.co.uk. Thanks again, Jo.
Thank you, Paul.
Probably stay in touch. I might
I'm
have
sure
to pay a visit to your clinic.
You will, You'll be very welcome.
Thanks a lot. Cheerio and goodbye.